Hi, and welcome to your one-stop location for workable solutions to your workplace relationship challenges. I'm Dr. Jacqueline Huggins, and welcome to this learning session. I'm going to be talking about trust today, how to build it and how to rebuild it when it's broken. Now, trust is the foundation of great workplace relationships. Without trust, you can't accomplish goals consistently well, nor exceed expectations. You may experience high turnover rates, staff may feel disgruntled, and you may experience more interpersonal challenges when trying to get work done. Now, trust in general, whether in a personal or professional context, can sometimes be difficult to achieve and take a long time to achieve. And when it has been established, it may have the life expectancy of a vapor, meaning it can be easily lost at the drop of a hat if we don't know how to maintain it. So we want to go into workplace relationships very methodically when it comes to trust, meaning knowing what action steps to take to build it, maintain it, and rebuild it when it's broken. So I'll be addressing trust from three perspectives in three different lessons. First, I'll address self-trust, which is trust in yourself. I'll be addressing how to build a stronger personal relationship between you and you. Because without it, it'll be tough for you to go into relationships and organizations as an engaged and highly productive contributor or leader. I'll be addressing relationship trust, which is building trust with others, actions, behaviors you want to adhere to build and maintain it. And then I'll be addressing organizational trust, trust at the enterprise level, what we should be thinking about and what we should be doing. You see, trust needs to be established in these three dimensions simultaneously in order for us to have an engaged workforce with great workplace relationships that maximize production and has us moving into the realm of innovation. Before I go into these three perspectives of trust, let's take a look at three definitions of trust. Letting others know your feelings, emotions, and reactions and having the confidence in them to respect you and to not take advantage of you. That's one such definition. Next, the act of placing yourself in the vulnerable position of relying on others to treat you in a fair, open, and honest way. Here's yet another definition. Placing confidence in others so they will be supportive and reinforcing of you, even if you let down your mask and show your weaknesses. So as you can see, these definitions require that you be comfortable with being uncomfortable and vulnerable, which for most humans is not a natural state, but can be learned. Self-trust requires that you be okay with being vulnerable in front of others without losing credibility. To achieve this, you must be confident in yourself personally and in your skills. Your assessment of your performance and who you are as a person must be sound and unshakable. This is not something you can fake. It is something you will need to work towards and continue to increase with a consistent pursuit over time. Faking it doesn't really work, at least not anymore fully. Eventually, people will smell the aroma and perceive the disingenuousness of your effort. It's going to take disciplined action to build trust in yourself. How do you do it? Start trusting you. Be yourself. What are your strengths? What are your limitations? What are your quirks? Be comfortable with these. Know what they are. Leverage your strengths. Take action on feedback and manage your limitations. Additionally, what type of person are you? What type of personality do you have? Do research on what your personality type is and how it impacts people in the workplace. Often people will say things like, well, that's just how I am, knowing that that behavior is rubbing others the wrong way. That thinking can be considered an excuse not to improve. It reflects a sensitivity or esteem issue that needs to be addressed. Know yourself. Become familiar with yourself and how you impact others. This is the first step towards building true trust in who you are with you. You want to be you, yes, but be able to plug you into community well. Not knowing how to plug in well has you moving in and out of interactions with a blind spot. To know important aspects about yourself will help you manage you and your quirks in the space of others. And so when someone says they're uncomfortable or calls you out on a weakness or a quirk, you'll be pretty much okay with that feedback without feeling offended. Really knowing yourself makes you confident and less sensitive to others' comments. You'll know who you are as a person. Next, set reachable goals for yourself. Some of us go out of our way, and others of us are pleasers. In other words, we either say no offensively or we really want to please others. But really, we're all afraid to disappoint others, primarily because of how others' negative perceptions to hearing the word no might make us feel. So we build a wall of belligerence in our attitude, indicating I don't care, or fail to say no when we need to. What does that say about who you are? How about this? Let your assessment of yourself be okay for you. Let it be more than enough for you. Let there not be a need for someone else to get how good you are for you to feel confident and okay. With that in mind, you'll be able to take stock of what you really want to do and do it, and move in those things that bring peace and satiety in your spirit. The result here is that you'll be more likely to reach your personal and professional goals because you'd be doing work you really enjoy that highlight your natural born talents while limiting those must-do tasks that when done in excess can kill your motivation to keep moving forward. When someone asks you to do something, you'll be more likely to know confidently that you can do it because you consistently follow through on things, because your goals are reasonably set to begin with, based on what's connected to your purpose. Next, think positively about yourself. Question: would it be okay for me to hear what you're thinking over a 12 to 18 hour period? Probably not. The degree to which we think negatively is astounding. We tend to think more negatively than positively. Build confidence in you by changing what you think and how you think, especially about yourself. Police what and who has access to your mind, your spirit, and your emotions so you can be successful in disciplining your thinking mind to think positively as a matter of habit. It would be tough to have trust in yourself if you're constantly vacillating between the negative and positive thoughts about your decisions and your behaviors. Additionally, leverage your strengths. What are you good at doing? Are you doing that, really? Or maybe you haven't allotted the time to find out. It's never too late to try and figure out what you can do well. Part of leveraging your strengths require that you be doing work in your natural born talents, not necessarily what you've become good at doing over time. Working with your natural born talents allows you to leverage your strengths more easily. But whether it's a natural born talent you've honed over the years or something that's become a strength due to life circumstances, just know they're all assets. Use these strengths to bring value to others as much as you can, and that will fuel your soul to develop a self-trust that others can't easily dismiss. Next, be good to you. Give yourself a break sometimes, but don't let yourself off the hook. Stop beating yourself up for mistakes, but take corrective action when someone calls you out on behavior that's less than desirable. Put a plan in place to pamper yourself regularly, but in a healthy way. Drinking to excess, eating unhealthily may provide comfort, but aren't really pampering you. You indulge and feel guilty and physically awful later. What are those one or two things you've always wanted to do? Put a plan in place and start taking steps, albeit slow at times, to bring it to fruition. Even though you haven't yet done it, just that you've enacted a plan to get it done will usher in feelings of warmth and levity that will make you feel as though you can do anything. That feeling builds self-trust. Here's another thing. Be decisive. Make decisions. Don't delay. You may not feel ready, but sometimes our circumstances are. Life is unpredictable, but we can't always win the war with time. Circumstances follow a life cycle, a beginning, a middle, and eventually an end. So when a situation has peaked, it demands a decision. Think about the situation, seek advice from mentors, do your research, and then make the best possible decision you can with all the available information you have. Don't delay out of fear in hopes that the situation will fix itself. There are some situations where that can happen, and you'll probably know which ones they are. Most other situations, though, require timely decisiveness. Being decisive will build self-trust. If those decisions are successful, we'll feel more confident, yes, but it's overcoming the fear of deciding, making a decision, whether successful or not. It is the act of making a decision that leads to higher degrees of self-trust. It's called courage. And remember, this is important. Operate with integrity. Have pure motives. Capitalize on your capabilities. Use your gifts well. Be teachable and engage in straight talk. Well, think about these tips that I've shared with you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to tell a friend. IChooseToLearn.com.